Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday morning. Think of no place you'd rather be than right here, right? How exciting. Are you in trouble, Edna? Did you get admonished to the basement? Can't come up until you finish about your test.
It feels like that. It really does. The whole family is asleep. Usually they're not, but we were up until 5 a.m. fishing. So,
are you on vacation?
No, we just live by the water.
Oh wow! So is it a catch and eat or catch and release?
Catch and eat.
What kind?
But there was no catching.
Oh, so you're literally fishing for your
We had
supper.
a great time. We caught other things. I don't want to say it in recording, but we caught other things last night, that's for sure, but no fish.
Animal things?
No, excuse me guys, but we caught a buzz. That was, but there was no catching of fish. So we were up till about 5 and everybody's asleep. And I was like, fine, I'll get up. I'll get breakfast for everybody. And so I've been up on 3 hours of sleep.
Look at you. So you normally catch and eat?
We normally do, yes.
What kind of fish?
Red or trout.
Okay. Very good. Do you have a whole freezer full of trouts?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my friend does. They live on a lake and they have a whole freezer full of trout. So, like, if you would just scale it for me and slice it and give me fillets, that'd be great. It's a lot of work.
It is. Sure is.
Well, I'm glad that you are. Glad you had fun. You deserve to have fun. That's for sure.
Yeah. And now I'm taking one for the team and up 3 hours later.
And you do the same thing again. It's okay. Everybody else, how's your weekend going?
Pretty good.
What's exciting in Alabama this weekend?
That's a funny joke. Absolutely nothing. No, we've just been at home. We've had weddings and baby showers the last few weekends, so we've just been hanging out at home. We did meet my parents at a brewery yesterday, so that was fun.
Very cool.
Fun for everyone else. I didn't get to partake, but fun for everyone else.
Well, they had a designated driver, so that was cool. Okay, guys, ask me questions or I ask you questions. How's it going to work today? Did you all study?
Yes, you were right. I wasn't able to find anything that was like a complete package in terms of shorts on every single thing that we were supposed to do. So I had a lot of trouble finding kind of a video on a Gestalt theory. So I had to piece that one together, kind of just textbook wise and things. But everything else, either by you or by another coach, I was able to find information on, which was awesome.
So the helping relations has all of them together. So that's just the longer ones. And the longer ones are better. I just drop nuggets sometimes in there that are just not related to the topic. They're just kind of just me teaching. So
yeah. Okay.
How's everybody else doing?
To look at that one.
I'm doing good. Went out, got home and chilled and went to sleep.
Went out partying, having fun?
Yeah, one of my previous coworker had a birthday, so we went to a place that had bowling and like a restaurant.
Oh, very cool. Are you the bowler?
Yeah, I actually I'm actually pretty good. Once I start to get the hang of it, I get really good at it. So yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
I bowl every Sunday night and I still suck. So I think it's just really good exercise at least. Because if I use a heavy ball, right, it's good for my arms and my legs and all that stuff. So, but I still suck at bowling. So tell me something you learned this week.
I learned that Carl Rogers and Gestalt seems like similar.
Tell me how.
They sound similar, but the only difference is one is about like unresolved issues, while the other one is really focused on the both of them here and now, but one really focused
So
on
no,
the
no, no,
past.
no, 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 no. They're not both here and
Uh,
now. Gestalt
they
talks
both
about here and now, but
uh,
Carl Rogers is about living in the present. So there's a very
okay,
big
yeah,
difference between living in the present and the here and now. My dog has eye
okay.
boogers. Okay. So there's also some, they're really not that like at all. Carl Rogers is very laid back. Gestalt is not. Gestalt is in your face. He's talking about staying with the feelings, stay with the feelings. That's what the empty chair is about staying in with the feelings. So they're not that much alike. Let's show you a question. Thea, this is your question.
You're talking to me?
Is it Shatia?
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes.
You.
When using the stay with the feelings technique, the therapist encouraged the client to A, explore trauma history and conscious schema, B, deepen awareness by remaining present with the uncomfortable effect, C, link symptoms to early development milestone, D, externalize the problem using metaphor. So going back to the question, see if I understand the question. So the question is saying what technique, who's the therapist who used stay with the feelings technique, right? So D is out of the question, externalize the problem using metaphor. I know that. And
What am I taking out?
huh?
Am I taking something out?
Let me see what else to take out.
No, am I taking out D?
Yeah, D.
Yes. Okay. Do you know who that belongs to by any chance?
No, I was literally thinking who used metaphor? Externalize the
So
problem using metaphor.
externalizing the problem using metaphors is narrative therapy. You take the story out of your head, you externalize it, and then you give it a name. That's narrative therapy.
You know what? I should have paid attention to when it says sterilizing, but the metaphor had caught me off guard.
So the metaphor just means I can't literally take it out of my head, can I?
Yeah.
Maybe you can, but mine stays in. So okay.
Link, no. Okay, I was thinking A, explore trauma history and cognitive schema.
I'm thinking you didn't study very much.
I did. Yeah, I didn't. I really did. My brain. Look, because I
I don't
really.
know about that.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm not gonna get rid of A. I thought
Nah,
about
you
getting
just didn't
rid of.
study very much.
No,
I'm not gonna
I have
torture you. I'm not gonna
my
torture
brain
you.
with narrative therapy was so short with me, and I couldn't even remember. I guess that part that really messed me up. uh,
Okay,
uh,
so I will go to somebody else. Okay, so when you don't ask the question if you know the answer. If your kid stole something and you know they stole something, don't ask them. So I know you didn't study, so I will stop asking you this question. Okay. Who else would like to try this question? Oh
I'll give it a
gosh.
go.
Go ahead.
I want to eliminate A.
Okay. Whose schema belong to?
Um,
When I say schema, I go here. So usually it's Piaget when we were little, but then as we grow
Right.
up, it's Beck. Your
Col-
cognitions
yes.
are your schemas.
Colbert.
No, he's moral development. So schema is your brain. It's how our mental representation of the world. So
Right.
in this particular question, this is going to belong to CBT. Do we know what theorist this is?
That's what I thought. I thought it was Colbert, but we learned it last time. Not
To
last time.
stay with the feelings is Gestalt. That's the empty chair. That's the whole goal of the empty chair, is to get rid of the unfinished business.
So we
Those
are
are the
eliminating A.
feelings. We are eliminating A.
Okay. My answer is B.
It is. It is. So I think this is a particular question that, Dr. Pam, I didn't have any Gestalt questions at all. You made me. This is Gestalt. It's the whole goal of the empty chairs, to get rid of the unfinished business so you can be a whole person. So like I always say, if you've just learned here and now about Gestalt, you're out of luck. Because it's so much deeper than that. I can't be a whole person until I get rid of the unfinished business.
Dr. Pam, I have a question. Like when you do your, you Google things and, social media things, there's a lot of buzz around sitting in a feeling. Would that be the same thing? When you sit in your emotion, maybe like stay with the emotion?
So Gestalt is very directive. So he's going to say that. So I don't necessarily know that I would Google that because it's a Gestalt technique. So this is a matter of, this is not a lay people term. This is specifically knowing what Gestalt would say. Okay. That's like a dentist labeling how to pull teeth. It's not, we're not going to Google that, right? We're going to stay within what Gestalt said, knowing our theories. Stay away from Google, stay away from ChatGPT. Don't do that, because you've got to know what our theories say about it. Okay, so did anyone recognize this was like a Gestalt technique? Okay, so the whole point of Gestalt is to get rid of the unfinished business. I can't be here unless I'm here. There's a really good video, and I know it's on one of my longer videos in which I'm very personal. I share my experience about Gestalt. My husband died, and when he died, I brought his casket home, and I brought his ashes home. Wow, his casket. I brought his ashes home, and I put them under the bed. That's crazy enough as it is, but I lived like he was still living. The kids and I would say, well, what would Dad do? What would Dad do? Dad wouldn't be okay with that. We were living like he was still living, and it wasn't a good marriage. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't good. But they were under my bed. I was stuck in the past. I was stuck. And I was so broken. I was broken and lost and didn't know what to do. And I just kept crying. I just kept crying. I just kept crying. I just kept crying. My therapist sent me to someone who to do the empty chair technique to get rid of the unfinished business. And that's what we did. We spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of getting me to angry, because I couldn't get to angry. I was just broken. I was a hot mess. And I just would cry. I would just cry. And I couldn't go anyplace because I was crying. And she would say to me, like, so how about he left you with these kids to raise by yourself? You didn't plan on being a single mother. I got married. I did all these things. I had to get to angry before I could let go. So that's the whole point of the empty chair, is to get rid of those feelings. You can't be a whole person if you're stuck in the past. So the here and now is just this bitty part of that.
Doctor,
That makes sense?
I just found a way to, on the Pocket Prep, there's a question that I had on Gestalt on Friday night, and the answer was to help a person explore their feelings about another. That would be.
It doesn't have to be about another, but if that's the best of the four, it can be about an event. It doesn't have to be about another person. It can be getting rid of drug and alcohol use. Okay, it can. So remember, on any test, right? We're looking at the four choices. So that's the best one. That's fine, but it doesn't have to be to understand the theory. You'll see the chat box. Her mother-in-law just passed. So let's keep her in our prayers. I'm going to turn it into immediacy. That means a teaching moment. So remember the DABDA, right? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Those are the stages that people go through. Okay. Okay, so back to your Gestalt question. Kia, I assumed that you were not going to stay.
I'm trying.
I wouldn't.
I'm trying.
Why?
I missed a couple of weeks already. I just want to.
We'll make sure you have what you need. Go on if you need to. If you need this for distraction, that's okay, but we'll make sure you have.
I do.
Okay, if you need to duck out, we'll make sure you've got what you need.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not right now.
Okay.
But thank you for your support.
You're in a room. You're in a room full of therapists.
Your story definitely touched me. So I'm trying to be as strong, as supportive as I can, but it's hard. It's really hard.
The scripture says he won't put more on you than you can handle. I believe that means that that's my signal to where I need him. I need to lean on somebody else because I can't do this by myself. I can't do this by myself. And I know I can't do it by myself. Not only do I need my Heavenly Father, but I need the spiritual, actual people in my life. And I need that. That's what Adler would say, by the way. He talks about the importance of having community. Okay, so are we good with Gestalt? Does that make sense of how important it is to understand the here and the unfinished business, not just the here and now? Okay. Did that answer your question, Edna?
Yes, that did. Best of the four. I'm going to keep reminding myself about that.
That's what makes it so hard. If it were just a test that you could memorize Gestalt, you'd have passed already. But it's an application where you have to apply the content that you've learned, which is not a bad thing. Kathy?
Yes.
We're on Gestalt still.
Yeah. A client says, part of me wants to scream, but another part feels ashamed. A Gestalt therapist might. So it seems like the client is split between two feelings. So I'll go to the answers. So A is interpret the repression of aggressive impulses. B, initiate a role play where each part speaks from an empty chair. C, ask the client to journal about conflicting thoughts. Or D, focus on the schema associated with shame. So I would eliminate D because schema just mentioned CBT.
Your thoughts.
Yeah. And then I would eliminate C, ask the client to journal about conflicting thoughts.
You know who would do that?
What was it?
You know who did that? Who's journal? Who may ask you to journal?
No, I don't.
Beck mainly.
Back. Okay.
Okay.
And so I'm now between A and B, and I would say B because of the empty chair.
Very
You
good.
would role play.
Okay, so each part from the empty chair. So part of me that wants to scream, now you're going to be in that role, right? And then now the part of you that feels ashamed, you're going to be in that role and you're acting it out. Okay. So then who does A belong to?
I don't.
Freud, possibly.
Freud. Your aggressive impulses are your id. Remember, I'm born with my id, the need to eat, sleep, and procreate. Make sense? Yeah, that's a Freudian answer. So again, as we're learning verbiage, right? We're learning who said what verbiage belongs to what theorist. That's the whole goal. Okay, 1 second. Let me grab a pen. I don't know where this.
Edna, you got it to where Pocket Prep work for you?
What was that?
You got it to where Pocket Prep work for you?
I was able to start it this week. I've never used it before, and I was able to start it. So I gave it a try Friday night, just a little bit. I mostly just do videos. That's all I do. But
Oh,
I was able to give it a try this week. Just
can
trying.
you help me with that?
Did I give you our link? Did you go through that one?
Yeah, but it don't work. Like I tried to do it, it didn't work for me. Maybe because I had an account a long time ago with it.
Maybe. Did you use our link?
Yes. I did.
Okay, so let's get so okay, I'll get my pen for. Okay, you know what? Let me run to the restroom because I have to go to the bathroom, and let me grab some coffee so I can get my act together. 1 second.
Ladies, I have a question. You know how we have these documents that come up, we put them in the chat. How come they're not put in the files on the Pearl? When I went to look in the files or classroom, there's no reference notes in there. Has anybody noticed that?
Yeah, I think they're just things that Dr. Pam just pops in the chat. I don't think that she's saving them beyond just putting them in the chat because she looks them up,
Okay.
As we go.
As we go, yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that there are a lot of aspects of Pearl that aren't really used.
Okay.
So,
I thought it was like, am I missing something? Okay.
I don't think so. I'm sorry, guys. We talked about meeting Friday night, and it just completely went right out of my head. So I'm glad that those of you that got to meet their Wednesday did, because just out of my head completely when we got to Friday. So for anybody that needs to meet Friday versus the middle of the week, I can start initiating that. That way it takes pressure off the rest of you or whoever does meet on Wednesday. So
Yeah, like what time would, I don't know, because I was also like debating, like, should I reach out or, but I don't know, like what time would be appropriate. I don't know if it's
yeah,
like 4 or.
I mean, I guess we're all in separate time zones. I'm in Central, so I guess that's probably one of the biggest components or difficulties.
Yeah.
So evening, like early evening would be better for me, like around 5 or 6.
Okay.
That way I can guarantee my husband's home and can take care of my tiny terrace. But we can, I mean, we can negotiate that for whoever needs to meet on Wednesdays or Fridays and can't meet Wednesdays. But just let me know, Kathy, if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm good with 5. I live in Texas. I think it's also Central. I'm not sure. But yeah, because right now it's 10:39. So
Yep,
I'm
here
good
too.
with 5 p.m. if that works for you.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. Yeah, that works for me. I can, like I said, I can start initiating that. That way it's not on one person as it has been the last few weeks. So
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. Oh, I do have I am due I'm getting inducted on 7/31. Just
Okay.
I'll do my best to be in touch to everybody still, but you never know.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Just if not, I can take over. But yeah.
Do y'all want to talk about anybody? We can just chat about any of the theorists if y'all want. We can kind of just do our little thing until Dr. Pam gets here.
Was there anyone have particular difficulty with aside Gestalt?
I was having trouble with Gestalt, but I remember like I saw a video where it says that it makes sense like the confrontation of that the client, if they start using I, that is telling the counselor that they are becoming more aware, like actually taking accountability of what's going on. So it makes sense as to why they would use confrontation, because it's all about like awareness. So I just wanted to share that little thing I learned.
What I do remember is Gestalt means whole.
Who's
So
the author of the theory?
Pearls.
Fritz Perls is his name, right?
And what you want is you want to be whole. That is the goal. So in order for you to become whole, which is also Gestalt, you need to get out all those feelings about your mother-in-law, just get them all out. Get them all out during therapy. Let it take however long it's going to take. It's not one of those things at 1 session, 2 sessions, but you're there to get it all out so that you can move forward and become whole, Gestalt. So that is the whole purpose of the empty chair, to become whole. And you cannot become whole until you get all of that out to the empty chair. Is what I do.
Are you talking to Kia in general? Or just in general?
We're just chatting.
Okay. So there's a difference though between normal grieving and Gestalt. Gestalt is, 5 years after that man had died, he was still under my bed. So there's a difference. So Gestalt is for the people, the couples that you're working with, and the parents have been divorced like 10 years, and the mama's got the dad's got the kids on the weekends, and the mom is still calling over every weekend to check on the kids. And she's worried about what's happened in that house when they've been divorced 10 years. She can't go out. She can't be a whole person because she's still stuck here. They've got to get her unstuck before she can get to whole person. This term is figure ground. That's a Gestalt term as well. So the goal of the Gestalt term is when I can see them flat, then there's no longer an issue. So whatever you see first, the face or the vase, is the presenting problem. So that's the goal, is to be able to see that flat. So when I'm a whole Gestalt, I don't see either face or vase. I just see a flat picture. So if the vase is what's sticking out, that's a metaphor for what's causing the problems right now. If the face is sticking out, that's the metaphor. So that's called this figure ground. That's a Gestalt term. You've seen this picture and you might have one in your house, heck, you've seen them everywhere. You just didn't know it was a Gestalt picture. Ed, did you need to finish teaching? I don't mind.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. I don't mind if you want to keep going. No, I don't want to, mess up your mojo.
All 3 hours of me, I'm good.
Okay, I went to get a pen to write down what theories did you guys study? Who's on our radar this week?
Solution focused.
Okay.
Narrative.
Solution focused.
Yeah. Narrative.
Pandora.
Person centered.
Okay.
And Gestalt.
Okay. So the goal is, if you learn the basics, then I can teach you what the questions look like, because what happens is many times you swear up and down that you've studied the theory, and then you get to the test and the questions don't look like what you hope them to look like. Fair to say? Like, well, what the heck? I didn't even say anything about that. Okie dokie. Edna, this is yours. Edna? Am I talking? Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. That's your question.
Dr. Pam, are you talking to me?
Yes, that's your question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. A client repeatedly speaks about their grief in the third person. She misses her father. The Gestalt therapist may respond by
And my question?
there is a client that continues to or is speaking in a third person. She the Gestalt therapist, how are they going to respond to that if they had a client that was speaking in a third person? Would it be A, interpret Jungian types? Would it be B, asking the client to rephrase the sentence using I statements? C, referring the client to grief group therapy? Or D, assigning journaling to explore secondary losses? I
The
know
question asking
that
me?
Jungian archetypes, the question is asking me about what would a Gestalt therapist, how would they respond if that was speaking in third person about their grief?
Do you know my Jungian archetypes?
Yes, I do.
Does everybody know them? Would someone like me to teach them? Okay, thank you. Carl Jung is very old. He was right after Freud. The most important thing about Carl Jung is his archetypes. It's the basis for the MBTI. It's the Myers-Briggs. That's the personality scale. Okay, so the 4 archetypes are the anima and the animus. Inside of us, we all have the opposite gender. Okay, so inside of me, there is a mus inside of me. The shadow, you see those devil horns right there? That's the things that I'm taking to my grave with me, not telling anybody at all. The persona is the mask I put on for the world to see. And the self is hidden. I don't know and you don't know. Okay. But the importance of it for the test, it's the basis of the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs, which is your personality. So the MMPI is your level of crazy, right? That's looking for definitely problems in your personality. You're crazy. And MMPI, you probably all took, I'm sorry, the MBTI you probably took in college or some class is your personality. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? So you haven't taken one lately, you can always find one out there, a free one. So that's the MBTI. That's the basis. The 4 archetypes are the basis for this theory. Okay. Okay, so taking that one out. I'm still with you. Edna. I think she got thrown to the basement and the Wi-Fi turned off on her. They're probably upstairs eating breakfast and having a good time and not even thinking about her. You hear me now?
Sorry, my basement internet.
That's what I said. They probably banned you to the basement or upstairs eating all the breakfast without you and makes you suffer. And
Yeah, it's really giving me a hard time right now. Okay, and so I know that it's not the Jungian archetypes.
Got it.
I would not refer the client to grief group therapy.
Okay.
So now that I've canceled 2 out, then I'm going to go back to my question. And in my question, it's asking, how would a Gestalt therapist respond if they have a client that speaks about their grief, if they're speaking about it in a third person? How would how would this Gestalt therapist respond? So would it be ask the client to rephrase the sentence using I statements or assign journaling to explore secondary losses? I'm going to give B a whirl only because Kathy just finished talking about the I statements. Thanks, Kathy. I appreciate that. It's
Okay.
almost like you knew.
You're correct. Sorry. The I statements are always talking about how I feel as opposed to you statements. So my feelings when you do this, or my feelings when this happens. Those are I statements.
Dr. Pam, you called the picture, the one with the vase and the faces,
Mhm.
you called it
Figure ground,
figure?
figure ground.
Okay,
Do you see the figure or the background?
got it.
And that's Gestalt, right?
That is Gestalt. It's in the textbook. I'm trying to. Right. People moved. Tamika?
Yes. Okay. A client says, I've always been a failure. The therapist asks, can you tell me about a time when that wasn't true? This is an example of A, miracle question, B, externalizing the problem, C, identifying a unique outcome.
Hold on, there's D. Did I
Um,
lose it?
okay, D, cognitive restructuring, I'm sorry, cognitive restructuring. Okay, I would remove the miracle question. That's more like it in a perfect world, like what would that look like? So I would remove
What
the
therapy does that belong to?
um I do not know.
Somebody help her?
Solution focus.
Solution focused. Absolutely.
Um
Did you study this theory this week?
no, I didn't. I did not get that one. That was the only one that I didn't get. So no, I didn't.
Who did you study?
I studied the narrative.
That's it. This is narrative therapy.
Oh, okay.
Explain it to me.
Well, I guess they would. Okay, so I'm
No,
going to
explain
take
narrative
out.
therapy. Explain narrative therapy. Let's make sure we get it.
Okay, so that is allowing the client to kind of be the expert and to tell the story. And I guess the goal of the therapist would be to help them kind of deconstruct and reauthor their story to I guess get a better outcome.
Okay, so you're not far. You're not far. You're not far. Okay, so normally when I teach this, I talk about the your narrative is your story, where your story came from. Are you an only child?
No,
Okay, you have siblings?
I do, yes.
So sometimes Christmas holidays, you're sitting around the table, you're talking, and they bring up some stuff, and you're like, "Where'd y'all live? That didn't happen in my house." You ever have that feeling?
Not really, but my mom does that with her siblings.
Are you and your siblings close in age?
Actually, we're not. We're all almost well, the oldest two are 2 years apart, and then I'm 6 years from that one and 6 years from the other one. So I'm next.
Okay. Okay. So Adler would say you're almost an only child. So you probably did grow up in a different home because 6 years apart is a very, very different home. But in general, my siblings and I are 5 years apart. I mean, and between us, there's three of us. So I had 3 kids in 5 years. So when we're talking, like we'll talk about stuff that happened at home, and they're like, "That didn't happen." I'm like, "What are you talking about? That? What you were like?" Anybody experience that? You've got different narratives of what happened in childhood. So narrative therapy says it doesn't matter. It's my narrative. I've constructed this narrative. This is what I've come up with. It's my theory. Okay. So the goal is, if this is my theory, then I'm going to, the theory is the problem saturated story. The tape in my head is causing me problems. Mom loved me more, right? Mom loved you more. So she paid more attention to you than she paid attention to me. So mom loved me more. So I've grown up my entire life with this story that seems very real to me. I've constructed it, but it's still my story. So clients' lives are stories in progress. Stories give language. They're subjective. That means it's my opinion, and constructed within the individual. My story. It could be a family story as well. Okay. Oh, what a cute little one. Oh, look at that. You want to come home with me?
Sorry, we just came in from the splash pad with Daddy, so
that's quite all right. We're a cutie pie.
And all over me. Go on, Daddy.
Okay.
Jack,
So in narrative therapy, the saturated problem is the tape in my head. It's like a cassette player that plays over and over. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. Your mother didn't love you. It just keeps playing over and over. Problem saturated story. I'm going to try to question and clarify where that story came from. Right? Why do you feel that way? What do you think is going on? I'm going to externalize it. So the key is I'm going to look at the cassette button. I'm going to hit the eject button, take it out of my head. And I don't know if you're old enough to remember cassettes. You know, you got the strings. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to where did that story come from? Okay. As I take it apart, then I'm going to now, so it's externalize, externalization. Earlier I said sometimes you give it a name. So externalize, I'm going to give it a name and talk about anxiety is the problem. But anxiety is not in my head. Anxiety is the story. It's not me. So as I take the tape out, now we're going to reauthor it. We're going to write a new tape. What I talk about in general is, remember a mixtape. I know you're not old enough to remember, but back in the day, you had to call the radio station. We had 3 radio stations, and you had to wait for the DJ to play the song. And on the cassette, you hit play, record, play and record at the same time, right? And you'd wait for the song to come on. You make a mixtape about how much you love girl, you love something, or all your favorite songs. So that's the goal, is to reauthor the tape, to put a new story back in your head. You'll see that they do this collaboratively. That means this is the theory that takes notes in session. When we rewrite the story, we're going to rewrite it using your own verbiage. Okay, that's narrative therapy. And Sheena, no answering in my chat box. You'll get your own question. Don't worry. Okay, so that's narrative therapy. Now let's go back. So the client says, I've always been a failure. The therapist asks, can you tell me a time when that wasn't true? This is an example of what?
Okay, I'm going to remove C, identifying a unique outcome.
That's my answer.
Oh,
I'm not externalizing the story, Emma. Did I take it out of my head? Okay, I'm not cognitive restructuring. That's a back question. Now, both C and B and C are both narrative therapy terms. Okay, so because you constructed the story, it's your story. Your outcome is just yours. Make sense?
yes.
So these are both narrative therapy questions, and externalizing the problem is not what this question asks me. Okay. I have to know these theories so well. That's the hardest part of this test, is knowing these theories. Okay, Joe, you ready?
In narrative therapy, the primary role of the therapist is to, so we're asking what role the therapist needs to take in use of narrative therapy. So interpret unconscious drives that influence the problem story, collaborate with the client to reconstruct preferred stories, serve as an expert on psychological diagnosis, or confront disordered cognitions. Okay. So I'm going to take out serve as an expert. Narrative therapy doesn't necessarily say that one is the expert over the other, but it highly focuses on the patient's view.
Who's the expert?
The patient, definitely.
No, and what theory says that the counselor's the expert?
Oh, Freud.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good. You played that woman, you know nothing.
Right. Let's see. Unconscious drives is also Freud. So that can't be it.
Now
I'm gonna go with B.
You are.
As that keyword, the reconstructing.
Okay, and collaborative. Remember I said, so the goal is you're going to work together to write the notes in session, because you want to make sure they're using the client's words. Words matter. Okay.
Yes,
so confront cognitive distortions. Who has cognitive distortions? Stankin' thinking.
Cognitive distortions.
Beck, CBT.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Stankin' thinking.
Okay.
Gina?
The client in early treatment says everything is going wrong. The therapist responds, what would be different if things suddenly got better? This is a unique outcome question. B.
Stand my question.
Sorry. Client in early treatment says everything was going wrong. The therapist responds, what would be different if there's things suddenly got better? So
Right. So he says that everything's, oh my gosh, everything's gone so bad. And the counselor says, hey, well, wait a minute. What if suddenly everything got better? What is this? Now read all four.
A unique outcome question. B, a miracle question. C, Socratic dialogue. D, reframing technique.
To rule out, even if I know the answer.
I'm gonna rule out C.
Who does that belong to? Do you know?
I don't know.
That's Beck as well. Socratic thinking is Beck. Beck's going to question you over and over and over again.
I know that A belongs to narrative therapy. I think it's going wrong. It's different. I'm gonna say it's D, reframing, having the client think of that's like a different alternative.
How many
Reframing.
hours did you study this week, Sheena?
I reviewed.
No. This is how you got through college. You tell your on your post, you wrote what you did know. I ask you how many hours. That's a close-ended question. How many hours did you study this week?
Including the group, about 6.
How many hours do I ask you to study?
What, 3 a
15.
day? Yeah,
15. 15 hours a week, 3 hours a day, 3 separate hours. This is an easy one. You should not have missed this one. Class, what's the answer?
Miracle question.
The miracle question. You woke up tomorrow and the miracle happened. That's solution focused. That's an easy one. That should have been a give me. Okay, we got to know our theories, guys. I cannot tell you, you will not pass this test if we don't know these theories. This is the same as individual and group and treatment planning. And all of these things are based on these theories. This is the basis of how we practice. We've all used some version of the miracle question. Have we not asked the client, so what would it look like if the problem went away? We've all used some version of it. All they want you to do is when you're in practice, you say to yourself or say it to the client. Well, solution focus would have said it's the miracle question. But if you woke up tomorrow and everything was different, we've used that. We've used that all the time in therapy. That gives clients hope that it can be different. Yeah.
Okay. Which of the following techniques is most aligned with solution-focused brief therapy? A, interpretation of early schemas. B, free association. C, scaling questions. And D, behavioral analysis. I'm going to get rid of free association.
That belong to?
Freud.
Good.
And I'm going to get rid of behavioral analysis.
That's a behavior term.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
That's just a behavior term. So a behavior analysis is someone who comes in and analyzes your behavior. We change it with rewards and consequences.
And my answer would be scaling questions.
Okay. Very good. Very good. You get to keep going.
Me?
Yes.
Dang. Okay. But a question, just so again, I'm trying to put all the things together. The scaling questions would be in alignment with the miracle question, right?
It is.
Like,
that's why I got the next question.
Okay, just want to make sure. Oh, look, on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay.
Say, I was helping you out, really.
A therapist asks on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you can reach your goal? The therapist then asks, why did you rate yourself a 4 and not a 1? The second question is used to A, explore core beliefs, B, reinforce the client's resources and past success, increase distress tolerance, and D, normalize the behavior. So I'm going to get rid of normalizing the behavior, D.
Yeah, so tell me how this works. The miracle question or the scaling question. How does it work?
So it's to find out how the client interprets their presenting issues, where their
Okay,
mindset is.
So the goal is of the miracle question. So if I woke up in the morning and the miracle happened, I was no longer depressed, he would ask me, what does my 10 look like? Okay,
Right.
so that's the miracle happened. So every time I come in, he's going to ask me, how close am I to my 10? The 10 is where I want to be. Okay.
So then I would also eliminate explore core beliefs. And I would go with B, reinforce the client's resources and past success.
Because one of the questions for the miracle question is the accept question. When was the problem not a problem? Very good, very good, very good. Keep going. Having a better idea of what these theories look like. My repeat test takers, do these seem too easy? They seem closer to the test than ones you've seen before?
They seem pretty close to me.
Me
Several
too.
of them are like, oh, yeah, that seems simple. And then if you really get into the question a little bit more, so that seems about right.
Same for me. And I got a 90 out of 92. Like I was so close. And this is so I really need this practice because this was one of the areas. So this is super important for me.
Okay, so
wait, I have a question. 99 out of 92 from Pocket Prep, Edna?
No, on my actual test,
Okay.
I needed 92 and I was at 90.
Edna studied her butt off. I was very surprised when she
I
did that.
still
She
all
studied
day,
her
every day.
butt
That
off.
is, I don't listen to music. I don't watch TV. I have my headphones on all day, every day. At work, at home. And I got a 90 out of 92 on the printout. And this was one of the ones that and she really means it. It's because they ask it 6 different ways and we got to be able to recognize all 6 different ways. So.
Okay, Shatia, we're going back to the top. Okay, now you learned some things, even though you didn't study. You've been an hour with us, so you learned some stuff right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on.
The client asks, how will you help me solve this problem? A Gestalt therapist most likely to respond. So, right, we're wondering how the Gestalt therapist will respond to the client what he asks.
in my
Right.
head, those one lines. Now I'm thinking about Gestalt. What would Gestalt do? What would he say? So I'm thinking about the empty chair, the unfinished business, the goal of being
Business.
here and now. All that stuff is going through my head before I look at any of the answers.
Right.
Okay, now let's read all four.
Okay. A, I teach you coping skills to use at home. B, let's work together to know what happening for you right now. C, we'll reframe your thoughts to change the outcome. D, we'll explore unconscious modes behind your choice. So I'm getting rid of D already off the back. And I'm going to get rid of
I'm going to stay there
C.
just for a minute. Okay, so C, we'll reframe that. So that's also, so normally that's a CBT question, but sometimes in families, reframing belongs to structural family. So in a family, it's a structure. So to reframe it is to help you look at it a different way. Okay.
I was gonna get rid of it anyway too, because I know the show never brought up anything about reframing.
I get it. But when you go back and watch this video and I teach structure, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, because you're gonna watch this video 15 times, right?
Yeah, I
Of
watched the
course you
video
are.
15
Of course you are. Of course you are. Because I don't want to be called out next week by Dr. Pam, so I will make sure I study.
I did study, just you know how you study and then it get to a certain point, your brain just have a brain fog. That's
No,
what was
because I
going on.
ask you only to study 3 hours separate, never more than an hour at a time. Never, ever, ever. You shouldn't get brain fog.
Do what? Because I'm
Listen,
working. I'm
child with
tired.
perimenopause, I can't.
That's why you only study an hour at a time. Our brain only has to hold an hours of information. There's a reason for that. We're not, you cannot sit down for 3 hours like you did through grad school and then come take this test. It doesn't work that way. So the key is repetition over and over and over. So that's going to fight perimenopause. I'm just asking you to regurgitate what you've heard in your head 1,000 times. My voice should be in your head.
But the answer is actually B. Let's work together to know what happened for you right now.
Very good. Very good. Who does D belong to?
D, Freudian unconscious modes behind your choice.
Very good. Very
Look,
good.
one thing I learned throughout this whole Freudian. If
You
I
know
ain't
what?
learned nothing, I know Freudian.
And if I could rewrite your test and just put Freud questions on there, I would, I swear, but they don't let me do that.
I know.
Okay, so let's add CBT and REBT. So CBT is called the cognitive triad. So it says that I have
Yeah. Get out of it.
So CBT is back. So Beck says the problem is you've just got stinking thinking. But the problem is the way that you think, your cognitive distortions are causing you problems. So what I'm trying to do is if I can change the way that you think, I can change the way that you feel, and then I can change the way that you behave. So there are a lot of cognitive misconceptions of how we think. So terms that you'll see with CBT are Socratic questioning. So Socrates is the Greek god, the thinker. So Beck's going to say, prove it to me. Oh, God, somebody said that yesterday. A really great way of remembering that, and I can't remember what she said. I'm up with that. But what she said, what the goal is that you've got to change the way that you think, that we make a lot of assumptions about things. And instead of just really that being true, we've got to let go of some of those assumptions. So if I change the way you think, I'll change the way that you feel, and therefore I'll change the way that you behave. There's a list of common CBT distortions, and that's what we'll see on the test. Show you those.
Doctor, can you add that image to our chat?
I can, but you'll get the paper.
A paper?
No, the study sheet questions are attached at the end.
Oh.
But I'll get to you. The book doesn't do a great job of going over these, but you'll definitely see these on the test. So those are my list of cognitive distortions. You can open it in your chat box, right click it and open it. So if you want to go over them, we're going to ask questions about the cognitive distortions. So Beck says that depression isn't real. He says mental illness is not real. The issue is the way that you think about the world and the way that you see the world. And if we can change that and really take ownership for your thoughts, then we'll change how you feel and therefore your behavior. Okay. So all or nothing thinking, very black and very white. Overgeneralization. So one negative event makes the whole wide world bad. Mental filters. We really dwell on the negatives and ignore the positives. Discounting the positives. So you focus on the negatives and forget about all the good things that happened in life. Jumping to conclusions. Sometimes that's also called mind reading. Like, how do you know that? How do you know this is true? Magnification or minimification, emotional reasoning, should thoughts. Now we're going to talk about should thoughts also with REBT. In REBT, they're called masturbations. Not the other word, it's the M word called masturbations. I must have, I should have, I could have. Okay. So then my should statements, they're called should statements with CBT, but REBT names them masturbation. Labeling, I am so stupid. I can't believe I did that. Personalization and blame. So you think they're talking about you. So like, really? What makes you think someone's talking about you? You're not that important. Okay. So identify the distortion, examine the evidence. Again, that's prove it to me. How do you know? Okay. We want people to think in gray, not think in black and white. Most of our CBT people think in black and white, dichotomous or all or nothing thinking. Either you love me or you hate me. And we want to teach you to use gray. Okay, so that's a whole list of ones. You probably won't see all of those, but I really just wanted to give you that list so we could talk about that. So automatic thoughts are what people do. The automatic thoughts belongs to CBT whenever you're looking at questions like that. Okay, and again, so it's a pretty good summary of your thoughts and your feelings and what goes along with that. So that's the goal, is we're trying to change the way that you think. That is CBT. Okay. Now, DBT is the opposite. So let me go back. So the REBT is the ABCDE of REBT. The difference between REBT And CBT is that REBT says an event happened. CBT says you always have automatic thoughts. You always feel this way. Okay. The REBT says an activating event happened. So here's what happens. None of y'all in this group, but other people, right? The activated event is you take the test and you fail the test. That's the event. I cannot change the fact that you failed the test. The belief system is a couple of different belief systems I've heard. They're out to get me, right? They don't want me to pass this test. I'm not sure who they is, but you know, they are out to get me. So if they are out to get me, the emotional consequences are I'll never pass this test because they are out to get me. No matter what I do, they're out to get me. So I'm going to dispute that belief system. I can't change the fact that you failed the test, but I can change the fact that you believe they are out to get you. I'm going to give you facts that everybody takes the same test. The fact is, it's like bingo. It's like there have to be so many questions in so many categories, right? I hate to tell you this, it's like computer generated and it has nothing to do with you. Now it's probably even like AI generated, nothing to do with you. Okay. So hopefully you'll have effective new consequences. If I know they aren't out to get me, then I'm more likely to study and have new consequences. The other one is I'll never be a good therapist. I failed the test. Maybe I failed it twice. And now my belief system is, oh my gosh, mama was right. I should have been a doctor, lawyer, a nurse, a teacher. This field is so wrong for me. I'll never be a good therapist. How do you feel about yourself? What are emotional consequences, Kathy?
That you have negative thoughts about yourself.
Emotional. What are your feelings?
Not sure. Sorry. Caught me off guard.
Feelings. Bad. I feel bad. I feel worthless. I feel stupid. I feel those are feelings, right? So the emotional consequences are how you feel. So I take the test. My belief system is I take the test, I fail. My belief system is I'm not a therapist. My mother was right. My supervisor was right. All these people were right. My professor in school was right. That's the belief system. And then the emotional consequences are how you feel. You feel like crap. Maybe they're right. Maybe I am in the wrong field. Maybe I wasted 6 years worth of school. Maybe blah, 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 right? Those are how you feel. I'm going to come in and dispute your belief system. Your belief system is I'll never be a good counselor. And I'm going to tell you, your belief system is test is not related to you being a good counselor. Those two things are not related. There are lots of great counselors that aren't licensed, and there are lots of sucky counselors that are licensed. Y'all know some people, they got alphabet soup after their name, LPC, LCSW, CB, everything, right? But they still suck. So the goal is I'm going to dispute your belief system. There's not a relationship between being a good test taker and being a good counselor. These two things are not correlated. Is there a relationship between being licensed and making more money? Heck yeah. One goes up, the other goes up. We like that. But there's not a relationship between being a good counselor and being licensed. What you don't have are test taking skills. That's where I come in. I give you test taking skills. But these two things are not related. This is Ellis. Okay. And Ellis then is where the masturbations come in. So masturbations are I shoulda, coulda, I should have known better. I must have known better. I should have passed the test. I should have studied harder.
That's definitely where I was at after I failed when I took the test last. So that's very personal.
Okay.
That's where I'm at right now. It was so hard for me. As soon as I failed, I purchased it again, like that same day. But I've had to, my counselor, like I've had to get with her because I am at that state where I'm like, I'm feeling very down. I'm feeling like, should I even be trying again? I'm so tired. I'm embarrassed. I was embarrassed to tell my husband. I felt like when I went back to work, it was the walk of shame, you know, because of course people were going to ask, hey, how did it go? And, you know, whatever. So definitely it's the event. Because before that, I wasn't waking up like this. That's for sure. Like CBT. It was the event.
Okay, and again, I'll say to you, I said to you, I am so sorry because I would have guessed you fast. I really would have. I really would have. You know your stuff. You know your stuff. Okay, so anyway, that's the REBT of CBT. Oops, that picture in there. Okay, so we did REBT, we did CBT. So again, the CBT broke off into two schools. So CBT is the automatic thoughts, your distortions. REBT is an event happens. The problem is your belief system about the event, which are called masturbations. And then DBT is what Marsha Linehan uses. So tell me about DBT.
It's dialectal behavioral therapy.
Okay, what does it mean?
So we're looking at things like mindfulness, and we're looking at things like, you know, really being present with what you're feeling and trying to sort through it without jumping to the next step necessarily.
Okay. What is the goal of DBT? Okay, so CBT is the goal is to change your thoughts, right? Because you have irrational thoughts, and that leads to then feelings and behavior. The goal of DBT is the opposite. DBT says if I change your behavior, I can change your feelings and therefore change the way that you think. So DBT is behavior first, then feelings, then thoughts. Okay, so DBT was written for what disorder, Tamika? Anybody know? DBT was written for
Personality.
borderline, specifically borderline personality disorder. So this is the only personality disorder that has a treatment. Personality disorders are ingrained. We've been that way our entire life. So they're egosyntonic or ego dystonic. Sheena, egosyntonic or ego dystonic?
I don't know.
Anybody know what those words mean? Let me show you the words and let you figure it out.
It's syntonic, right?
Hold on. Okay, so those are the words. Okay, so egosyntonic, think about in sync with my ego, right? The boy band NSYNC. Ego dystonic, I don't like this. Okay. So which one comes for therapy, Tamika? Egosyntonic or ego dystonic?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I can. So who would come for therapy? People that are egosyntonic or people ego dystonic? Repeat, I think you're muted.
Ego dystonic?
They would come for therapy. I don't like this. I don't like the way it makes me feel. All personality disorders are egosyntonic. They come because all personality disorders don't come for therapy because they're okay with how they behave. When a borderline shows up, she doesn't show up because of her behavior. She shows up because she doesn't understand why people don't love me or people won't take care of me, won't hang out with me. So there's a difference between OCD and OCPD. Did I do that with you guys already?
Not in the sessions.
Okay. So personality disorders are ingrained. I've been that way my entire life. My narcissists, my borderlines, my what are they called? Histrionics, right? Personality queens. Look at me, look at me. So OCD and OCPD, there's a difference. OCD is a personality. OCPD is a personality. OCD is a disorder. Usually of the people that I tutor, of every group, it's at least 1 out of every 4 of my OCPD people. You are my perfectionist. Everything has to be right. You got the 4.0. You got the 3. You got a B+ on a paper, and you went back and asked the teacher, what can I do for extra credit? I got to get a 4.0. I got to get an A. Anybody in the room? Come on, own it, own it. If I come to your house.
We had 2 in our group.
Sorry.
Ooh.
What'd you say?
We had 2 in our group. It was a lot of work.
I usually have a lot in every group. This field seems to draw OCPD people. There's something about this field. So if I come to your house and there's a part of your closet that's perfectly organized, part of your house, the closets are perfect, right? Your colors, your things are hung by color, by size. I can find everything. It looks like a showcase in your closet. Or your kitchen, it's organized by spices, it's organized by expiration date, but it's perfect. If you took the leveler and hung all your pictures absolutely perfect, you're OCPD. Anybody want to raise their hand?
I was before I got married.
That's why people change, because their spouse is about to kill them. That's exactly why you change, because your spouse is about to kill you. You don't see a problem. Why can't everybody just be perfect like me? If everybody could just follow the rules. I was dating a guy once, and he said, why do you have 2 pairs of shoes out when you only have, you only need 1 pair? Like, because it's my damn house. I can have 12 pairs of shoes out if I want to. It's my house. But that's it. That's exactly it. You want perfection. Okay. I would guess probably Kathy. I know Edna, Kia, and I bet Tamika also. I bet you're probably a little OCPD.
Yes, I am.
I think Joe would like to be, but she's got 2 kids and has given up on it.
I love the example that you give, where I may be studying, but then I see a sock, so then now I got to go put the sock away.
No, that's ADD. That's ADHD. Different issue. That's ADD. This is obsessive compulsive disorder. This is personality disorder. It's not a problem for you. You just want to be perfect. So like one of the things I would love to do is come to Kia's house and took all his pictures just occasionally, and just enough to like mess with her head. I know, that'd be so much fun. I love to do that to my friends who are perfectionists.
That would be horrible. Don't do that.
It'd be so much fun. It creates so much it's anxiety over a picture. Like, oh my gosh. I said you spent hours hanging those.
No, I guess somebody else will do it because I can't. It's too much.
I wasn't perfect enough.
It's too much. I can't draw a straight line to save my life.
I'm with Dr. Pam. I would have done it just to see your reaction.
It's fun to do. Exactly.
That's why y'all not invited. How about that? That would be terrible.
So that's the thing, is you strive for perfection. You've been that way your whole life. If I go back to elementary school and ask your teachers, you were the one that had the elementary school kid that had whiteout by your desk, right? Or you're tearing the paper and starting all over, because it has to be perfect.
These are the best things ever.
Lord. Anyway. So that's egocentric. You don't think it's a problem. So OCD, you're just OCPD. You just want perfection. You're not coming for medical help. The reason you come is because somebody in your life is about to kill you. Okay. The OCD people, now this is a disorder. So this is a DSM disorder. That's ego dystonic. OCD people have obsessions that won't go away. There's germs on my hands. Can't you see the germs? Can't you see them? There are germs on my hands. And I have obsessions, the thoughts that just won't stop. I've got to wash my hands, wash my hands, wash my hands. You can see where your fingers are just red and raw because you've had the compulsion. The obsessions are the thoughts. The compulsion is the act of washing your hands over and over and over again. So it stops your life. You've got rituals. You have to turn the stove off 7 times. You have to do something in numbers many times. That's OCD. That one we're going to treat because you don't like it. You're about to lose your job because you keep being late for work because you have to go home and check the stove or the refrigerator again. Okay, that one we treat with medication. So that's an obsessive compulsive disorder. It's an anxiety disorder. That's ego dystonic. I don't like this. I'm coming in for treatment. So in general, all personality disorders are ego syntonic. Okay, so I don't have a problem. A narcissist doesn't have a problem. What do you mean? I'm great. Why wouldn't you think I'm great? Okay, so now OCP, OCD. So I went there to talk about my borderlines because borderlines is a personality disorder. They don't see a problem. So DBT was made for my borderlines. It's the only personality disorder that has a treatment. So now, Margaret Mather said borderlines come from not having a consistent caregiver. She's a neo-Freudian. In the book, it talks about her object relations theory. So she believes in object constancy. How's that different than object permanence? Object permanence belongs to who?
Object permanence belongs to PLJ.
Absolutely, absolutely. Object constancy is knowing that the person is still there. It's an unconscious drive that the person is still there. So what Margaret Mather says is if I don't have a secure relationship with the same caregiver for the first 3 years of life, then I'm not going to develop object constancy. So she's a neo-Freudian, which means it's not on there. Neo-Freudian means
She believed the same thing as Freud without the sexual.
got it, got it. I also don't believe in the id and the super ego fighting back and forth. I do believe in unconscious, but I don't believe that my devil and my angel are fighting back and forth. So she did her research in orphanages in Vienna. So she's the same time that Freud came out. We don't see a lot of theorists at all. There are female theorists at Freud's time. So she did her research on babies in orphanages. And what she found out is while they had these wonderful caregivers, right, they never had the same person. So they never learned to trust the world. They didn't believe that the world was a safe place. They never developed object constancy or object permanent. I'm saying object constancy, and this is called object relations theory. So unconsciously, I know that someone's always got my back. I'll do great things. I'll try new things because I know someone's got my back. I always say that I did too much of this with my kids because I swear they traveled the world without giving a second thought. They'll tell me later. My daughter's like, "Oh yeah, Mom, I almost drowned in Australia a couple of years ago." Oh God. Yeah, me and my husband, we almost got attacked by a bear. We were in the Grizzlies. We were don't tell me later, but they do these brave things, and I just thank God tell me later because they're grown now. I can't do anything about it, but they've always known that no matter what happens in life, they've got a safe place to land. They were taught from day one. They all got one get out of jail free card. That means that no matter what happened in life, I got you. No questions asked. I just got you. I just got you. 2 of them have used it. Okay. So not necessarily get out of jail, but get out of a very sticky situation that usually costs mom lots of money. But you get it once. You get, I got you. I got you. I got you. You're human. We make mistakes. I got you. Okay. But once you use that, you're on your own. But yes, 2 of them have used it and the other one's expired. So I'm just going to say we're done. But it's in. So they had a consistent caregiver. Now, I love this theory. I use it a lot. I do a lot of consulting for public schools, especially African-American boys. So here's how I apply it in everyday life. So mom gets pregnant at 14 or 15. She's in high school, right? So we want mom to make sure that mom finishes school. That's important. So we give baby to granny for 6 months, and then granny can't take care of baby. So now baby's daddy's mama takes care of baby for 6 months. And then auntie takes care of baby for 6 months. And then all these things happen in 4 years. The baby's had 5 or 6 different caregivers. Now mom is 18, gets baby back. Baby is a grown man and now wants nothing to do with mom as a grown man because he never learned that somebody's always got my back. He never learned that the world is a safe place. So she said borderlines, narcissists, conduct disorders all come from not knowing they've got the same caregiver. Okay, so that's Margaret Mather, object relations, neo-Freudian. She's always on the test. She's a really important theorist. I truly love this theory. And it's not like because you had they went to daycare. But do you notice in the first, the daycare in a small room, they only have 4 babies and there's a consistent staff because we know that you've got to have that consistent person in that baby's life. It's got to be the same person. There's a reason why it's so expensive for that first year of life because it's the same person, the same person, the same person. Okay. Margaret Mather's theory. She's in the book. She's number 2, I think, under neo-Freudians. Okay, so we did DBT. The goal of DBT is to treat borderlines. Mindfulness means to just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment, just right here, right now. Not what's going to happen 15 minutes from now, not what I did yesterday. Just enjoy the moment. That's the Calm app on your watch or your phone. It says, be calm. But I don't have time to be calm right now. I'm busy. So I don't know how to quiet my mind. I don't know how. So when my app goes off, I switch to gratitude. That's my mindfulness. And it really can be, thank you that I've got dishes to wash right now, or thank you that I had dinner to make tonight. Thank you for whatever. For me, that's my just being in that moment. So she says, learn to be mindful. Just be aware of the present, the moment, without judging yourself. We beat ourselves up all the time, and borderlines do it much more than other people. Emotional regulation. So this theory was written for borderlines, but it's also, remember, used for small children because kids don't know how to regulate their emotions. That's why we set up boundaries and we give them rules and consequences. Adult women or adult people that think, you know what, it's not my fault. I was angry. I told my daughters, your mood does not dictate your manners. You don't get to act that way because you feel that way. You're in control of your mood. You're in control of your feelings. They don't control you. Distress tolerance, borderlines in general. When there's a crisis, I make it worse. He broke up with me, so I set his clothes on fire. Makes sense to me, doesn't it? Right. So remember, I don't trust the world. I don't trust that you have my back. And borderlines, I love you, I love you, I love you. I give you all I have. And then when you get too close, I'm going to break up with you. And I think you're going to hurt me. So I'm going to hurt you first. So, and when I hurt you, it's going to be mean and get back with you. Anybody work with borderlines yet?
I've had several, yeah.
Okay. I think I did too.
You make you feel crazy. They make you feel absolutely crazy. Like we agreed to this. We said this. They what?
I was gonna say crazy, but incompetent too. Like that's what I struggle with. I feel completely incompetent when I work with them.
Because they make you feel crazy. make you feel crazy. They make you feel crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they'll deny they said it. They'll deny they did it. What are you talking about? That wasn't me. And crazy, just all get out crazy. So it's not fun. It's not fun. Whenever you see a test question that says the client comes in and she's had 3 therapists before you and says you're the very best one, that's a red flag. Ooh, 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 ooh. And your beginning self is like, oh, great. I'm a good therapist now. She likes me. I'm not. Remember when I was new, like, oh, give it 6 months. Your supervisor's gonna be calling you saying she complained about you. She said you did this, you did that, you did this. So absolutely. The stress tolerance.
That's a case management position now. That's how the client is.
That's exactly what happens. They want to get close to you, but they're afraid. Okay. And then interpersonal effectiveness. INTER always means with other people. INTRA, intra, is inside of myself. Inter is with other people. So learning to have healthy long-term relationships. That's what DBT teaches. We good? So we just added REBT, CBT, DBT. Let's look at some questions there. There are about 12 of these just in this chapter. So that's the goal, is learning who said what. And if we don't take it slow, it's going to become a jumbled mess in our heads. Okay, so remember, what I want you to do at this point is to, are we studying together? Have we gotten there?
We've set it up.
Okay. If the study group time doesn't work for you, set up another time with other people. Having someone hold you accountable is really what is how you pass this test. I'm going to say to some people, Edna, be sure that the people you study with are your caliber people. I mean, if you're smarter than they are, you need to find a group. Edna, your last group. Okay. If I find that I'm teaching everything, I need to find a new group. Iron sharpens iron. Okay, so that's factual. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, so iron sharpens iron. Kathy, I'm with you.
Yes. So the main philosophical difference between CBT and REBT lies in just wanting to see the differences between CBT and REBT. A, the use of journaling. B, REBT emphasizes on unconditional self-acceptance and rational philosophy. C, CBT use of future-focused questions. D, REBT rejection of thought monitoring. So, see the difference between CBT and REBT.
So tell me the difference in your head before you look at any of the choices. Look at your notes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so CBT, did I put it in there? The cognitive triad.
Yeah, so the change
Okay,
irrational.
at the top, I put them both up there. It's the cognitive triad and the REBT.
Okay. So the difference is like it's between behaviors and thoughts.
Okay, so CBT is thoughts, automatic thoughts, right? Feelings, and then behavior, CBT. REBT is an event happens, and then you have an irrational belief system about the event. Okay, so let's look at the first one. They both use journaling. That is absolutely true. They both use journaling. Okay.
Yeah.
So REBT emphasizes on unconditional self-acceptance and rational philosophy. What does that mean?
Well, changing like the way that you like that they really focus on your self-acceptance.
Okay,
No matter.
unconditional self-acceptance. That means I love me for me no matter what. Okay, so most of us have conditional acceptance. We love ourselves when we weigh a certain way, or we love ourselves when something good happens, or I'm having a good hair day. Most of us don't have unconditional self-acceptance. This is just me. I love me for me. That's a step that all of us, especially women, we struggle with. Okay. And rational philosophy. So remember, it has irrational beliefs. We're going to hold on to that one. Okay. C says CBT's use of future-focused questioning. Does CBT do that, guys? Anybody? They do not. Who does future-focused questioning?
Don't solution focus.
It does, yes. If I wake up in the morning, that's future-oriented. Yes. It's the miracle question, so that's not true. Okay, so now between B and D, so REBT's rejection of thought monitoring. REBT doesn't reject that. It's just not focused on that. So my best answer is B. You see how we got there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna put this in your documents out. So, okay, so we've added 3 today, and you need to go and add another one. Who else do we want to add?
Is there significant difference enough between solution focused and solution focused brief therapy to add
It's
that
the
one?
same. It's the same.
It is. Okay.
It's exactly the same. Solution focus is brief. That's the whole goal of it. So a lot of people say it's like a Band-Aid. It's like your EAP person. It's not necessarily the best therapy to do. But we don't get to ask which is better not. You might get a question about this is a scenario, which therapy you should use. But again, it's all based on what they say. Let's throw in feminist therapy. Okay, so I added REBT, CBT, DBT, and feminist to the four that you already know, 5. I added Margaret Mailer too. So at this point, I want sticky notes. Not, I don't want a place where you come back and look at your notes. That's not what we want. We want sticky notes all over your house. So I want A, B, C, D, E in the bathroom. I don't want 1,000 notes. I want sticky notes, not much bigger than this. Oh my gosh, I know it's going to mess up your house. Make sure that they're perfectly aligned. Get out the ruler, take the green line thing and just tape them exactly where they need to be in your house, okay? But honestly, I want you to see it everywhere you go. I want it on your office computer, but I don't want this whole line of theory. I want A, B, C, D, E, REBT. And every time I look at that, I know what that means. I want the miracle question. Oh, I know that belongs to solution focus. I want just snippets so you become so familiar with this information. We don't want a place that you sit and go study. That's really not effective because I only want you to study an hour at a time. Okay, I want to be in your head. I want to be in your head. Like this video, I went over things that aren't necessarily what we covered, but if you watch my longer videos, I always just cover snippets of important things. When I talk to you about structural reframing, because later on when we talk about it, I've already dropped that snippet in your head of reframing looks like. Okay, everything that comes out of my mouth, unless it's a story about me, is a test question. Everything I use the immediacy. I said immediacy while we're in the moment. And I talked about DABDA, the denial, anger, barred, and depression, acceptance, because that's Kubler-Ross's stages. But I used it, the term is immediacy, because that's what we were talking about. So I threw in a theory while we were talking about it. All those terms I use are test terms. I talk in test language. You should too. Okay. There's your attachment for today. Keep studying what you're studying. Give me some more time. Let me be in your head. Let me just be in your head. Let me be in your head. Let me be in your head. Everybody in your family should know you're studying. Okay. I got you go, but I've asked Edna this before because I feel bad. I feel so, okay, I don't feel that bad. I do. I always question, what did I not teach you? What did I not teach you? So that is our goal, is to make sure that we teach you everything that you should know. We're not going to teach you everything for the test because that's way too much. We teach you the most important things. So if you see something you don't know, it's because the other choices are right. Don't just, if you don't know it, doesn't mean it's not the answer. You know everything that's important to know on the test. That's our goal. Questions for me? It only gets harder. Okay. I'll see you guys next week. Give everything in the chat box.